Hey 143 fam, I am back. I am so grateful to be here. For those of you who follow me on Instagram, you know that I had a 2-month long journey battling coronavirus. This intro is going to be a little bit longer than usual. I want to talk to you a little bit about some changes and some ideas I have for the channel, how I'd like to evolve things a little bit, the giveaway and how that's going to change. If you'd like to stick around and hear that, make sure you do. Otherwise, I have timestamps down below if you'd like to jump right to your reading. First of all, I'm just going to grab my little healing stone here. I am so grateful for your love and support during this time. It's been a very challenging couple of months for all of us, and I know that I'm not alone in that. Recovering from coronavirus has really been a game changer, a life changer, how I came into this year, and I know many of you are very much in alignment with this. It's just not the way my life looks or is at this point in time, but there's been a lot of personal growth and evolving through the last couple of months for me, more so than even usual. Is something that I've been very committed to my entire life, changing honestly from the inside out. Career, personal life, everything, and I want that to reflect here. What I'm going to be doing in terms of Instagram, in terms of giveaway, you know that I choose 2 winners each month. I know that I still owe a few of you a few past winners your free reading, and I promise you I'm going to get to that as soon as I get these videos out for June 1st. But what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to consolidate my Instagram accounts. So my Urban Soul Guru account, I'm probably going to close that. I'm not going to use that account anymore. I'll keep it open for a little while because I know many of you find me there and follow me there. But I'm consolidating with my primary account. So please switch over before I get rid of my old account. So the new my new Instagram, because I did change this. It used to be Tony Wrights Official. Now it's Tony Nielsen Official. I'll make sure I have that in the box below so you know how to find me. But please make that switch over. How this is going to impact my giveaway, I am still going to choose 2 winners. 1 winner will be chosen on YouTube, and this will apply to both winners. I'm going to choose a winner from YouTube and on Instagram if you follow me at Tony Nielsen Official. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Leave me a comment below your video. If you follow me on both platforms, make sure you also let me know that you are a follower on Instagram so that I can find you, so that I can verify that. But I will choose 1 winner here. Again, subscribe, leave me a comment below your video. Winners are always notified at the very end of the month. So both rounds of videos, my first of the month videos and my 15th and my mid-month videos, I go through all comments and I choose winners. Whoever Spirit says needs it the most, I choose it, I reach out to you, and we connect that way. Now, another change that I would like to incorporate into Channel 143 is my music. You guys know that I'm a professional songwriter. I started out as a recording artist like a really long time ago. I was really young. Transitioned to being a songwriter. I write music for people all over the world. But during this time, I've recommitted to my own music again. I've written an entire album. It's a piece of work that I am incredibly proud of. And I'd like to start incorporating music into the channel. None of this is going to happen until Venus goes direct and we're out of shadow, period, because it's not the best time to launch something new. These are just ideas. But I would love to hear how you feel about that. How would you feel about me incorporating some other aspects of my life and my passions? And I mean, music to me is another modality of healing. But how do you feel about that? How do you feel about some of these changes? Please let me know in the comments. I do take your comments and your feedback to heart because this is our community, not just my channel and not just my community. But with all of that said, I know this is getting quite long. I just want to say that I love you all. I know we're going through a hard time. Add Venus retrograde on top of all of that. And I know I'm not the only one who's had a difficult couple of months. It looks like we're still going to have a difficult couple of months ahead, but I promise you there's a lot of positivity here. And Spirit has already shown me how some of these positive little bright spots and light at the end of the tunnel, how that's going to come up maybe a little quicker and maybe in areas of our lives where we're not expecting it right now, because we are still, at least in New York City, we're still quarantined here at the end of May, because things are just not going back to normal. But that's also going to open the door to so many other opportunities, so many other blessings if it's something that you're open to. So we're going to take a look at June 1st. Geminis, you know, I'm a Gemini sun. I promised myself that I would be healed for Gemini season. My birthday's in 2 days, the 31st. By the time I release this will probably be June 1st. We did it, Gems. I kicked Corona's ass so I could be back for our season. Your support means the world to me. 143 fam, thank you again for everything. Now let's jump into your readings. Let's see what is in store for June. Hey Gemini, happy birthday season. In true Gemini fashion, I just recorded probably the longest intro in history for a horoscope or spiritual-based channel. But for those of you who sat through that and heard me out, thank you so much, because there are a lot of exciting changes that I would like to incorporate, really just to evolve our community and to evolve things for myself, even on a personal level. Gems, I want to talk to you about Venus in retrograde. It's in our sign. Venus is retrograde in Gemini. This is not an easy time. If you have Gemini anywhere in your chart, you're struggling, okay? Let's call that what it is. Now, will we all struggle the same? No. And are we really struggling? No, it's growth. But there is a death and rebirth happening, okay? There are people who you thought would be in your life forever who are exiting. I'm going through the same thing. I send you love, light, compassion. But you know what, Gemini? In your gut, you know it's for the highest good if that's what you're going through. There is positivity here. There is a message about new, but you're not going to get to the new until you honor the rebirth, okay? Are there new people that are going to show up for you in June? Absolutely, Gemini. You may not even realize how sought out you actually are. People finding out that, like, oh, Gemini's back on the market. I thought Gemini was settling down. And Gemini's like, no, I'm good. I out of self-love, honey, I'm moving forward. Don't be surprised by the people showing up. Some of those people are not going to be good for you, though, okay? So pay attention to red flags. See, this card keeps it. My deck is, like, ancient, but this is the new partner card. I need to find some tape to put on that. But I'm having a hard time shuffling it. But that is the energy I keep getting for Gemini, is this new energy, the new partnerships, new commitments, okay? But there is healing that needs to be done before we jump into all of that. So I'm going to do your spread a little bit differently. Gemini, this is your general overview, Gems, okay? Gemini general overview. So the first card out, this is the situation at hand, okay? Spirit just said this is out of balance. This has been out of balance in your life. Everything that has been out of balance, anyone and anything that has drained you for a short period of time, for a long period of time, by the time you get into June, those people, those situations are probably gone. Doors have probably been closed. And you may be struggling with this, not understanding how you can give so much and receive so little, and to not feel like maybe the relationship or the situation or the work environment that you gave your all to, that you were fully committed to, that you didn't get to see the fruits of your labor. What Spirit is saying with this, okay? If somebody or a particular situation couldn't give back, couldn't match you or match your energy, match your generosity, match your love, let them go. But Spirit will bring someone or something new in that can match your energy soon-ish, okay? Soon-ish. Be careful about I'm going to call them false soulmates during Venus retrograde here. Not everybody who comes in during Venus retrograde. Honestly, most people who come in, especially if they're new during Venus retrograde, they're not going to stick around too much longer. But there is new here. There is something new here. Venus is going to bless you. Even in retrograde, Venus is blessing you, but there was something that wasn't matching, or they just didn't know how to match your energy. They just weren't vibing where you're at, okay? Had to go. You will be gifted with someone or something that almost fills that space but in a much more positive way, okay? Now, family crosses this, the challenge. Many of you, there's a family dynamic here. Has the family split up? Was it a family member you had to cut ties with? Is it a friend that is like family? I just heard family business, so doing business with family was someone taking advantage of time. I just heard somebody like stealing money from a business. Somebody is stealing time, okay? Clocking in when they're not really there, or somebody doing that for them. Stealing time for what that's worth. That could also be waiting around for somebody. They're not doing the work, and so Spirit is saying no. But the challenge is this person may try to circle back. The challenge is that there is still love here. Whoever, whatever the situation is, especially if it involves family, there's still love here. And so there's still a little vulnerability here for you, Gemini. Make sure you're not caving to toxic people coming back in. Again, Venus retrograde. Venus is love. Venus is money. So people in those areas of our lives coming back in may not have the purest intentions, or honestly, gems, and not enough time has gone by that anybody has healed enough for that to really be worth your while, even if it's something you entertain down the road. So we're going to pull a couple clarifiers here, and then we'll look at bottom of the deck. Yeah, for a lot of you, this is family and this is love. And of course, bottom of the deck is new partner here. Trustworthy guidance is the first outcome card here. Spirit's asking you to heal through journaling, okay? Let me hold these up. So we have heart chakra as well as change in direction. Something ended, something's gone, it's still bothering you. Whatever you let go of, heal through it. There's something about writing, creating, Spirit's getting back to the drawing board. So maybe it is starting all over with a new business plan. Maybe starting all over with a new business. Maybe you're the person who walked away from a family business. You're getting guilt over that or grief over that. Or a friend who was like family, or an environment that was it's in its own right sort of a family because you spent so much time there. Somebody may be guilting you because it's time to go, because you're working on you. But this comes through side by side with heart chakra. This comes through as someone being very self-aware and doing a lot of healing work. But I'm seeing you journal. I'm seeing you write out your thoughts. I'm seeing you write letters that you don't send to people who have hurt you, okay? I'm seeing you create something beautiful through this, but your heart is involved. Emotions are involved. Again, the challenge being family this month. Heartstrings, okay? There's emotion here. Gemini, I feel like you may get blamed for something that isn't your fault. Somebody wants to be mad at you and blame you for something that you didn't do wrong. Being in a space and coming from a place of self-love is not the wrong move. If somebody manipulated a situation, you called them out on it, or even if it wasn't about manipulation, even if it was just about personal growth, because again, there's a whole lot of personal growth, creating, starting over, okay, going on for Geminis in June. That's all okay. You're allowed to outgrow people, to evolve past. I will say this, somebody in the picture expects you to stay stuck here, and that's funny as a Gemini myself, because it's like, how quickly can Geminis close the door and move on? Just make sure, Gemini, you're challenged with this. Don't close the door and move on and bury emotions. Do not bury these emotions. You get them up and out, and then you move on, okay? You get them up and out. As long as you've done the work, you will move on. This change in direction does not necessarily feel as positive as it will seem a year from now, but this change in direction, even if it was abrupt, is a blessing in disguise. Spirit just said, don't be afraid of your own strength. Did somebody or something rock you so much that you're afraid of your own strength? Are you healing quicker than you normally do? And you're like, is this real? Am I second guessing this? Am I really okay? Somebody's afraid of their own strength. Somebody's afraid of their own, not just ability to heal. Spirit says somebody's afraid of their ability to reinvent themselves. Reinvent you. It's the best project you could ever invest your time into. But I feel like you're doing it. Venus is forcing you to do this work, Gemini. Venus is forcing you. This kept getting stuck while I was shuffling this poor little card. And like, my cards are so ancient. Can you even see this? This is like legit falling apart. Sirens in the background for dramatic effect. Bottom of the deck. Oh wow, let me hold all of these up, okay? Even though this is gonna fall on you, but okay? You cleared space. You still may be in the process of accepting the space having been cleared, the timing of it, the abruptness, the emotions that surround it. I'm not saying all Geminis are healed coming into June 1st. By the time it gets to the end of June, honey, your heart is in a much better place. But I do feel like many of you are actually ready for the new partner. You may not think that this is possible to call in during a time like Venus retrograde, during a time like coronavirus, during a time like, hey, we're still quarantined here in New York City. The new partner, well, first of all, be careful of new people showing up, because there's definitely going to be deception there with some people, okay? Especially if they're from the past. But there's somebody who's going to get your heart beating again, Spirit's saying. And obviously we'll look more into that in the love reading, but there's something new. It doesn't make sense to you yet, beginning of the month. Watch this again, end of the month, and let me know what changed or how much more peace you have, because this energy isn't a grieving Gemini. This energy is a Gemini committed to rebirth and redevelopment and rewriting the script. This is a Gemini who's ready for love in all the right places in their life. This is about self-love. This isn't necessarily just romantic love. This is a new job opportunity showing up because, you know, our businesses have been closed and you can't go back to what you used to do. And you're thinking like, how am I going to be able to support my family the way I used to support and take care of my family? The challenge is I can't do that anymore. I'm telling you, someone new, something new shows up. Everything's going to feel a lot more okay by the time you get to the end of June. But Gemini, I'm just going to put this out there, especially because Venus is in your sign. Pay attention to shadow period. I have been feeling the effect of Venus retrograde since the day Venus entered shadow period. And we're going to feel it through the shadow period through the end, I believe the end of July. I think Venus officially goes direct June 25th, but there's that shadow period. It's still going to affect you. But like I was saying in the intro, there are these like bursts, these star bursts of breakthroughs. For some of you, it's creative. For others of you, it's a way to heal your heart. It's a way to move forward. I am hearing that this is going to impact children. For some of you, you stepped out of situations where some of you wanted this and couldn't do this. You couldn't have the family. The challenge was, okay, I give a whole lot to somebody and I still can't achieve this with them. So let the new partner come in and experience something new with somebody else. Something better showing up to fill that space and that void that you may be feeling as you come in to June 1st. This is really positive. Your season is not going to disappoint, even if Venus is making it challenging, okay? For many of you, I know this pertains to romantic relationships. So let's take a look. Gemini. Are you excited though, Gemini? Because I'm not feeling grief. I'm feeling Geminis, whether you've grieved, whether you've dealt with some major losses, maybe you've been sick yourself, people you love have been sick around you, or just the chaos of everything. Like, I'm not feeling Gemini stuck anymore. I'm feeling Gemini almost reconnecting with their soul purpose, reconnecting with that playful Gemini energy in a way that maybe you haven't been able to, Spirit just said, in years, possibly in years, at least in months. There's a revival. There is the death and the rebirth. You're just about out of the death phase of this. I don't mean literal death, but it's the death and the rebirth. You can't be reborn without the death in that phase and honoring that first. Now's your rebirth, Gemini, okay? So let's see how this rebirth applies to love. Gemini in love, June 2020. Gemini in love, June 2020. I love this energy for you. I love this for you, Gemini. You're strong. You're so strong. Don't be afraid of your strength. Other people, you know other people are afraid of your strength. Or other people may not honor it. They don't need to. You know, it's none of your business. What other people think of you. And as Geminis, we're like really, really good at not caring what other people think, right? Sometimes to a fault, but I think that's incredibly positive. For you, I'm feeling some Geminis are afraid of the rebirth, afraid of what you can create now, the life that you actually love, calling in somebody that you actually love, somebody really good for you. Don't be afraid of this. Okay, Spirit's saying now. So, Gemini and love. First card out. This is your situation, calling in the soulmate. First of all, soulmates will be calling you. This is your situation in June. Soulmates are going to call. Ooh, this wanted to jump out. This crossing, okay, a soulmate. This is your challenge, but we're going to come back to it, but it like legit just jumped out of the deck. Not everybody calling you, Gemini, deserves for you to pick up the phone. They don't necessarily deserve the call back. They don't deserve the conversation. Some people do. If you want them to, pick up the phone. But understand that certain conversations, even if you think that there's some closure involved in that, it's going to reopen a wound. Why do all this healing to reopen a wound? Okay? If you're the one who wants to call the soulmate, please do not be impulsive. Spirit is saying sleep on it for 3 nights. Sleep on it for 3 nights. If you still feel that love and that pull, then trust that, okay? But this is what I feel like you're afraid of. I feel like you may be afraid if you call somebody in at this time during the Venus retrograde that they won't stay. That the fear is that they may not be safe love. Did you surrender to a love that you thought was safe, and at the very end, it was the person who hurt you the most? That is what Venus is trying to clear. You have learned the lessons. You're not going to repeat all the same patterns or even the last experience unless you want to. Okay, Gemini, you have too much information. You are too healed at this point. You're too self-aware to go through the same old things. You see the old red flags, you're just going to step out of the picture, you know? So call the new soulmate in. If you want this, even if you are afraid to call somebody new in during Venus retrograde, and I understand that, have the energy out there. Why not? Have the energy out there. Venus isn't going to be retrograde forever. Allow yourself to move forward. But with it is safe for you to love, crossing soulmate here. And the soulmate calling is, again, a big message. Some soulmates calling are not safe for you to love, and that's the challenge. Or the challenge is how, if you were to give that person a shot again, how could that be safe for you? How could it possibly be safe? No one can go back to anything at this point, even if you want to. That applies to relationships, that applies to work, that applies to the life that you had before all this craziness in the world happened. That's a good thing, though, because there's growth. You may honor that. There are partners in the picture that may not. Now, if you're cross-watching, understand that these messages can go both ways. You may get that call from a Gemini, and you may know in your gut that it's not safe, okay? I do feel some safe phone calls. I am feeling really beautiful connections with people, but they feel newer. They don't necessarily feel like the exes or the people you may still feel like you need some closure with. You've got your closure, Gemini. Look at their actions. How have they treated you? You don't need to have any more conversations around that. Is there regret for some of these people? Absolutely. Spirit just said Judgment Day is coming. Now, Gemini, if you've mistreated somebody, Judgment Day is coming. This feels like an abundance of Gemini's partner's energy. Judgment Day is coming. And when Judgment Day comes, and they call you and they're like, oh shit, what the hell did I do? Venus retrograde had me in all the wrong feelings and I made all the wrong decisions. You're going to say, no, actually, Venus retrograde showed me who you really are. Thank you, Venus, for protecting me. Thank you, Venus, for showing me that this wasn't safe love and that you did the best thing ever by walking away, or I did the best thing ever by walking away. Be careful of the phone calls. I have to say that, okay? Some outcome cards here. There's a lot of self-love here. First card out, worth waiting for. Spirit is saying that there's somebody new worth waiting for, also maybe worth waiting for Venus to go direct. You know this. You already know this. Some partners feel like you're worth waiting for. Gemini will come back. This is just a phase. We always get back together. We're going to do this again. And when that Judgment Day comes, the reality is, if somebody mistreated you, Gemini, you're probably not going to go back to them. The door really may be closed now. I'm feeling for some of you as you step into June, not even by the end of June, but like as you step into June, the door may already be closed. For some of Gemini's partners, you stand there at a closed door. Are you afraid to knock? If you still feel like they're worth waiting for, are you afraid to knock? Are you afraid to make the phone call? The fear, the ego of that. Spirit said the meanness, some of the meanness. That's on you, if that's the case. Gemini, that's on you if you treated somebody like that. But somebody feels like you're worth waiting for, but you may not be waiting for them anymore. And that's going to be the Judgment Day. That's going to be harder for them than what the last couple of months have been for you, okay? Following this is flirt. This just feels like movement forward. Maybe somebody wants to flirt with you from the past. be careful whose calls you pick up, okay? I'm not saying you shouldn't entertain anybody from the past. There are going to be some hidden gems in this, hidden gems, right? But hidden gems, hidden blessings in some people showing up. But honestly, people who show up from the past that you don't have too much history with, that could be really positive for you at this time. But use your intuition on this one, Gemini. Like really, really, really be cautious. Do nothing impulsive at this time because you may regret it. Following all this is self-love. This is what I'm talking about. It's almost like they've taken advantage or they take for granted the fact that you wait for them, the fact that you allow them back. They may also feel like they always come back and you've been expecting it and they didn't this time. But the problem is that someone feels like they can come and go from your life. Or Gemini, your partner may feel like you come and go from their life and that's just something that's acceptable. It's not. Somebody here in the mix is so committed to self-love. Bottom of the deck here. Give your relationship a chance. Somebody is so committed to self-love that they may not want to do this anymore. They may not want another shot. They don't want this. Gemini, you don't want to go back. I just heard reconciliations. I do. There are some possible reconciliations, probably worth waiting until Venus goes direct before you consider that, so you know you're getting the right energy, so you know that your intuition is still on point. But see, this feels like somebody new, and we had a new partner at the bottom of the deck in the first spread. This is also that playful, fun energy. This is Gemini flirting with a whole bunch of people right now. Are you like feeling yourself a little bit? Like not in a narcissistic way, but like feel yourself a little bit. How dope are you, Gemini? Don't be afraid of your strength. Don't be afraid of your beauty. Don't be afraid of how many people recognize your self-love, recognize your strength, see the opportunity like, oh my God, I have a shot now. How many people are talking to you right now? Please own this and just have fun. Don't rebound. Rebounds are not healthy. I know occasionally that can work. They usually don't. But as long as you're doing that work and you've done that reinventing, you've been doing that healing, especially by the time you get to the end of June, you may be ready to actually single, down to somebody, filter out all the options, all the flirting, and maybe choose somebody to move forward with. That could be very positive. But be honest with yourself where you're at in your healing journey. You don't want to show up for somebody else unhealed, and you also want to make sure they're not showing up with their own baggage that they need to heal. Because too many times, Gemini, you take on everybody else's pasts and baggage and bullshit, and you get lost in it, okay? Some of this love that wants to come back in isn't safe for you. But I don't want that to sound too daunting here, okay? Spirit is saying that some of you will speak again, and you'll speak on better terms. But that is not a majority message. Some of you will decide, okay, we'll do this. To get a Gemini back, you literally have to be a different person. If Gemini sees the same things, feels the same things, has the same conversations, it's done for good. But the problem is that Gemini's already experienced that. I promise you I'm going to change. I promise you I'm going to do this. I promise you. And Gemini's like, but you didn't do anything. I've heard this so many times that like, I want safe love now. That's what I'm feeling, Gemini's want. And you know that you deserve that, okay? Overall message here, have fun throughout the month of June. There is still healing to do. You may be better off waiting for somebody new to come in and better timing for that. They're going back. Gemini, take your time. Sleep on it 3 nights before you answer phone calls or before you make that phone call. Gemini's partners or Gemini cross-watchers of Gemini's partners that are cross-watching. If you feel like this applies more to you than Gemini, take a minute to really decide whether or not you or Gemini have been able to heal enough during this time so that you could get back together, getting back together. Have you healed enough so that it could be a different experience? The old relationship has died for many of you. The old relationship, it's all done. It's all done. You can't go back to it. But why would you want to, right? If you get back together with somebody, it has to feel like a brand new relationship, and you almost would have to be like new people that have to be relearned all over again, like it's a new relationship. But I don't see that happening for too many of you now. Geminis who are coupled, you're in committed relationships right now. I want to put this out there. Venus retrograde is not going to split up a couple that is a happy, healthy couple, okay? So Geminis who are going through separations, This is Venus. It's a blessing in disguise, even if it hurts like hell. For those of you who are in committed relationships, you've been together, you've already called in your soulmate, and you know that they're safe love. You're not going anywhere. There are probably going to be challenges, but it's going to actually strengthen the bond versus break the bond, okay? But for those of you in relationships, even if there hasn't been a split, there's a crack in the foundation. You're going to see it and you're going to feel it. Honestly, the house is probably going to fall all the way down, like a legit tower moment. Only the strong couples, the healthy couples, the ones that are truly in love, two partners working at it, those are the only couples, especially Gemini couples, that are going to survive this Gemini. But I'm feeling for more of you than not, it's a clean slate. Own your clean slate. Have fun in your season. Keep your flirt on. It's fun. You know you enjoy it. I do feel like there's somebody who will be safe that you may call in, but they're going to be a hidden gem. They may be another Gemini, but they're a hidden gem, okay? Hear that message. It's a hidden gem. You're not going to have to fight hard for that. You're not going to have to search for them. There's somebody who's going to show up and you're just going to feel it. But even still, don't rush it because you want to make sure you're not missing any red flags. You want to make sure the energy and this person is supposed to be in your life longer than just a couple of months before you commit to them, okay? So wait until Venus goes direct before any commitments. But I am giving you the green light for some of you. Obviously, it's your own life. You'll do what you feel is of your highest good. But for some of you, truly a green light around some new partners. A hidden gem. Okay, gems, I'm going to leave you with that. I love you. Have an awesome birthday season, Gemini. I'm celebrating with you again. Thank you so much for your love. Thank you all so much for your support. I may resume private readings and healing sessions. I'm not sure yet. I just sort of need to get into the swing of things. So if that's something that you need, I'll commit to this now. I will take emergency readings at this time and emergency sessions. I don't know how much general availability or if I will have general availability in June because I'm literally just getting back to work after everything. But I will take emergency sessions and readings if you need it. All right, gems, I love you so much. Take care. Ciao.